Okay, after you've downloaded the instructions file and the work file for Lab 4, go ahead and open the instructions file, which is your Word document. This is dealing with calculations, so we're going to open the work file from Blackboard that you downloaded from Blackboard, and if the Enable Content button is available, go ahead and click on it to disable it. And then we're going to add 2 new fields to the end of the employees table. We're going to name the first field regular hours with a data type of number, and the second field, we'll call it overtime hours with a data type number also. I'm going to minimize my Word directions file. I will now open my Lab 4 work file from my desktop. There again, if the Enable Content security warning is up there, click on it. Open the employees table, and we're going to add 2 fields at the end. We've been adding, using Design View in order to add fields. I'm going to go ahead and this time, instead of clicking over here and going to Design View, I'm going to do it Data Sheet View. Okay, so if I want to add, and you can add fields in either Design View, you know, this way, or in Data Sheet View. You can do it either way. Okay, the first field at the end of the table we're going to add, so it says click here to add. The directions said to make sure it's a number data type, so click on number, and the field name was regular hours. Okay, then we needed to add another field, so I'm going to click on and this is in Data Sheet View, click to add. We have to select what data type it was, and it said number, and this field name is going to be overtime hours. Okay, in order to make a field wider, and notice it's cutting off my field name here. If you'll point to the line that separates the 2 field names, wait till your pointer changes to that black plus sign with the arrow pointing to the left and the right. If you double click, the system will automatically enlarge it for you to the correct size. You can also do it yourself by dragging and dropping that line, but if you double click, then the computer system will automatically adjust the width to the height. I mean, adjust the column width to the largest entry. Okay, I'm going to go down my taskbar, bring up my Word document, and we need to enter the following values in the 2 new fields. So we need to add in our regular hours and overtime hours. So the first one, regular hours, is 40. Hit tab to go to the next field. Overtime, 0. The second is 35. Hit tab, 0. And so just go ahead and enter all the values from your file. After you have the regular hours and overtime hours entered, bring up your Word document down from your taskbar. The next instruction is save and close the employee table. I'm going to save it. I'm just going to use the quick access toolbar up here, a little save, a little diskette, and close it. Excuse me. Then we're going to create a query using the query wizard that contains the employee's last name, first name, pay rate, regular hours, and overtime hours. We're going to name this query Pay Calculations and select the option to modify the query. Okay, I will bring up my Access work file. I'm going to, from the ribbon, click on the Create tab, and we're going to use in the Queries group the Query Wizard. And the fields that we need are last name, last name, first name, pay rate, regular hours, and overtime hours. We're in the Query Wizard, so once we answer the question to each, answer the question for each window, click the Next button. We'll always do detail, click Next. We're supposed to call this Pay Calculations. And we need to modify the query, so select the button in front of Modify and click Finish. The next step, I will come down to my taskbar and bring up my directions file, which is the Word Document in the first empty field, use the builder to create a formula to create each employee's regular pay, which is the regular hours multiplied by the pay rate. We're going to name this new field regular pay. We're going to run the query to check the calculations, and then we're going to format it as currency and then save the query. I'll bring up my work file. Now it said the next empty field. So click in the field, the empty square or empty rectangle next to overtime hours. That's the next available empty field. And up on your Query Tools Design tab in the Query Setup, you have the Builder button. Excuse me. And what this is, it's an expression builder. This is where you build your calculations. So click on the Builder. And what we're going to do is calculate the regular pay. And regular pay is the regular hours times the pay rate. So this is your expression window where you're going to build your calculation. So in your expression categories in the middle here, we need regular hours. So double click on regular hours. It should come up into your builder expression. We have to multiply. Multiplication is designated by an asterisk. So click an asterisk on your keyboard. And we need the pay rate. So double click pay rate. Now click OK. And down in this field, you'll see the calculation. So per the instructions, we're going to multiply it. We're going to name the new field regular pay, and then we're going to run it. Now where it defaults to expression 1, that's just what the system's putting in there. What we're going to do is backspace out that expression 1 and type in the field that we want, and it's called regular pay. Now, the important thing is there is a colon between the field name, regular pay, and the calculation. That colon is major, major important. Whatever you do, do not lose that colon. If you delete it, you got to put it back, or you're going to get some really nasty error messages. Okay, so let's run it. So up here on your toolbar, click on the big red exclamation run button. And I would just, by default, kind of multiply these out. You know, I would get a calculator and check these values and just spot check a few of them and make sure that they're right. In fact, what I'll do is just come down here and look at the end of your instructions has these already done. So regular pay 6507, I'm just going to spot check the first few, and they do look right. Okay, 500, 530, 504. Yes, okay, that's great. We did it right. Okay, now we want to format this as currency. It looks like it's defaulting to currency, but just to make sure, we have to go back to Design View because we're in Data Sheet View. So on your View button, click the drop-down arrow, go to Design View, my bad, Design View. And what you want to do is just click in the field name where it says regular pay, and over here on the right hand side of your screen you'll see the property sheet. It may not be on your machine. You may have to turn it on. So it looks like this. Up here in the show hide group, click on property sheet, and there again just make sure you're in the regular pay column. Over here on the property sheet where it says format, click in that cell that says format, drop that arrow down and pick currency. I'm just going to go run it again, and now we're supposed to save it. So I'm just going to, up here on the quick access toolbar at the very top, it's the fastest way to save it. Click on the diskette. Okay, the next instruction. So we did one calculation, and I checked my values. And the next empty field in Design View, okay, and in Design View, use the builder to create a new formula. Calculate each employee's overtime pay. Overtime pay is calculated by the overtime hours multiplied by the pay rate times 1.5. Anytime you work over 40 hours, you should be paid time and a half. So to calculate time and a half is you take the pay rate times 1.5, and that will give you the amount of time and a half. So it represents time and a half for all hours worked over 40. Name the new field overtime pay. Run the query to check the calculations, format as currency, and save the query. So I will bring up my Access work file from my taskbar at the bottom. We have to go back to Design View, so click on your View button, go to Design. The next available field again. So we're clicking to the right of the regular pay field. Up on your Query Tools Design tab, you click on the builder, and that is your calculation, your expression builder. And this is overtime pay. So we're going to take overtime hours, so double click on overtime hours. We're going to multiply that, so type in an asterisk for multiplication, and because of order of operations, meaning multiplication and division are always done before addition and subtraction, we're going to put these in a parentheses just to make sure that that 1.5 is multiplied by our pay rate. So type in a open parentheses, double click on pay rate, type in an asterisk for multiplication, type in a 1.5, type in a close parentheses, and then click OK. Now by default, the system will call it EXPR1 for expression 1. Select that EXPR1 and backspace it out. Whatever you have to do, select it, backspace it out. Whatever you do, do not get rid of that colon. Be very careful that you're on the left-hand side of that colon if you're backspacing out. And we're going to call this one overtime pay. Okay, let's run the query. There again, the column's not wide enough. So if you point to the edge of that particular field and double click, it will make it as large as it needs to be. Now notice this one isn't defaulting to currency. Our instructions tell us to make it currency. I'm just going to bring up my Word document, 9375 119, and just run down here real fast and check overtime pay 119 172.50. So yes, there again, that's where I'd bring up the calculator. So let's go back to Design View. So click on the drop down arrow on your view button, go to Design. Make sure your insertion point, the blinking bar, is anywhere in the overtime pay field. And if the property sheet is not, if you can't see it on the right hand side of your screen, click on the Query Tools Design tab in the Show Hide group, the property sheet. Click in the Format section, drop down the arrow and go to Currency. Let's run it again. So click on the big red exclamation mark to run it. It is currency now, which currency should be represented with a $sign and 2 decimal points. So let's save this one, and we'll bring up the instructions for the next one. Okay, that was 7, 8. In the next empty field in Design View, we're going to use the builder to create a formula to calculate each employee's gross pay. Gross pay is calculated by adding the regular pay and the overtime pay. We're going to name the new field gross pay. We're going to run the query to check the calculations, and then we're going to format it as currency and save it. I'll bring up my Access work file. I will have to go back to Design View and the next available field. So I'm just going to click anywhere in that blank field. I will go up here on the Query Tools Design tab, and in the Query Setup group, click on the Builder button. And we are calculating gross pay, which is regular pay plus overtime pay. So in your expression categories, double click on regular pay, type in a plus sign, double click on overtime pay, click the OK, change the EXPR1 to, if I could, and there again, whatever way you do it, just make sure that colon stays in there. I'm just trying to click right behind the 1, backspace it out, or even hit my delete key, but leave that colon alone. And we're going to call this gross pay. Okay, let's run it. So up on your toolbar, click on the big exclamation run button. Obviously that's correct. That's correct if I add that together. So yes, it looks like they're adding them together, so that's fine. Let's go back to Design View and make sure we format gross pay as a currency. So click anywhere in that gross pay field. If the property sheet is up, all you have to do is come over here and click in the format cell, drop down that arrow, go to currency. If it's not, make sure you turn the property sheet on. Let's run it one more time just to make sure it is dollars. It is, and save it. Okay. The next one we're going to calculate is FICA, federal withholding tax. It's calculated by multiplying the gross pay by 6.2%. We're going to call the new field FICA. We're going to run it. We're going to format it as currency, and then we're going to save it. I'll bring up my Access file. I'm going to go now back into Design View. I will click in the next available field, blank field. We're going to click up here on the Query Tools Design tab. And in this Query Setup group, we're going to click on the Builder. And this is, FICA is gross pay. So double click on gross pay in your expression categories. Multiplied, so click on the, type in the asterisk. 6.2%. We've got to convert that to a decimal. So 6.2% is 0.062. Click OK. Let's change the name. There again, the name of your field is the text that appears on the left-hand side of that colon. The right-hand side of the colon is the calculation. So that colon is very, very important. And we're going to call this FICA, F-I-C-A. Let's run it. 38, 44, 31, 46. I'm just going to bring this up real fast. 38, 44, 38, 46. That's good. Looks like the calculations are right. We now must format it to currency. You can see it's got, some of these have 4 decimal points, and that's not currency. So we have to go back to the Design View. So click on your View button. Go to Design View. Click anywhere in the FICA field. If your property sheet is not appearing on the right-hand side of your screen, click on the Property button in the Show Hide group on the Query Tools Design tab. Click in the Format section. Once you click in that cell, you have a drop-down arrow. Click on it. Click Currency. Let's run it. It changed it to currency. And let's save it. There again, I'm using the Quick Access toolbar at the top. Okay, let's go to the next instruction. We did FICA. Now we're going to do insurance. So obviously, it's automatic 2% deduction to pay for your insurance. So on number 10, in the next empty field in Design View, use the Builder to create a formula to calculate the employee's insurance deduction. It is calculated by multiplying the gross pay by 2%. We're going to name it insurance. We're going to run the query. We're going to check our calculations. We're going to format it as currency and save it. So I'll bring up my Access file. I am in Data Sheet View. I need to switch now to Design View. So I'm going to click the drop-down arrow, go to Design View, click in the next empty available field at the bottom. In your Query Tools Design tab, in the Query Setup group, click on the Builder button. And this is gross pay, so double click in the expression categories, gross pay, times, so click, type in an asterisk off your keyboard, and it's going to be 2%, so it's 0.02. Click OK. Change the name of the field, which means backspace out the EXPR1, and we're just going to call it insurance. Let's run the query. 12, 4, 10, 15. I'm going to bring up my Word document. 12, 4, 10, 15, 11, 83. Looks like it's right. 11, 88. There again, that's where I have a little calculator and just spot check a couple of them. Now this needs to be formatted to currency. So we're going to now go back to Design View. Click anywhere in that insurance field. Just make sure your insertion point, that blinking bar, is somewhere in that field name. If you have to, click on the property sheet. And once the property sheet is open, click in the Format cell. Once you do, the drop-down arrow comes up. Click on the drop-down arrow. Click Currency. Run it again to check it. It is right. And let's save it. So go to the Quick Access toolbar at the top left of your screen and click on the diskette to save it. I'll bring up my Word direction files again. And we're now going to, in the next empty field and design view, use the builder to create a formula to calculate each employee's net pay. Net pay is calculated by subtracting the insurance deduction and FICA from the gross pay. We're going to call this net pay. We're going to run it and check the calculations, format the field as currency, and save the query. I'll bring up my Access file. I must now go to Design View. I will click in the next empty available field. We will now go up and click on the Builder button. And your net pay, which is what you get after you finish working, after they've done all your calculations and taken all the deductions out, it is your gross pay. So double click on gross pay. It's minus. A minus is a hyphen sign, so type in a hyphen off of your keyboard. It's minus FICA, so double click on FICA. Type in a minus again, and it's minus the insurance. You have to take your insurance out. So double click on insurance, click OK. Now on that new field that you just, the calculation you just did, made the field, make sure you backspace out the EXPR1, leave the colon alone, and we're going to call it net pay. Let's run it. So the big red exclamation run. I'm just going to spot check 569-465 54506. Looks good to me. Okay, let's go make sure, even though it looks currency, it's defaulting to currency, we're going to go back into Design View, click on that field, and in the Property Sheet, just make sure you turn it on, we're going to format this to currency. Let's run it again. Check everything, looks great. Up on your Quick Access toolbar, let's save it. So we've done all the calculations. If you work somewhere, you have regular and overtime hours, you know, they do your gross pay, your net pay, you know, is after any deductions, just a typical simple pay. It's a very simple pay calculation. Okay, number 12, in Data Sheet View, we're going to display the total row in the query, and we want to calculate the totals for the following fields. We want the total regular pay, the total overtime pay, the total gross pay, the total FICA, the total insurance, and total net pay. And it should look like this bottom row here. So we want to total up the regular pay column, overtime pay column, gross pay, what was the total gross pay, what was the total FICA held out for all these employees, what was the total insurance held out for all these employees, and what was the total net pay for all of these employees. So bring up your Access work file. We are in Data Sheet View, and on the Home tab, in the Records group, you have a button that's a sigma symbol, and it says Totals. When you click on it, in the bottom of your worksheet, the bottom of your database, you're going to see the word total come down here. And how you get your totals is, the first one was regular pay. So click on the total row, find the cell that's the intersection of your regular pay column or field and your total row. When you click in there, you have a drop down arrow up here. Drop down that arrow, and we want the total, so we're going to click on Sum. Same with overtime pay. Click in the cell that intersects the overtime field, which is a column, the total row, drop down that arrow. So we could actually calculate the average, we could calculate the min, we could calculate the max, but for all of these, our requirement was to calculate the total. So you're going to go through all of these, click in each cell that is the intersection of that field that we want calculated, the total of, and the total row, and select Sum from the list of functions that are in there. Let's go ahead and save it. So up here on your Quick Access toolbar, click on Save. I'm just going to bring this up and spot check the values. They do look right. Okay. And another thing that database software has, as far as a really nice feature, is a filter. Filter by form, filter by selection. A filter is just retrieving certain information that you want to see. It's like a query, except a query builds an entity in your Access file. Over here, if you build a query, let me see if I can get all these up. Like here's our calculations. A filter is just show that to me just right then and there. You don't save it. It's just a quick little glance at something you want to see. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to use there's two different ways to filter. There's a filter by form. So we're going to use the filter by form method to display all the managers in the employees table. So I'll bring up my Maximus file. How do you use, if you click on your home tab, you have a sort and filter group here. How you, gosh, I've got to get, I'm in the query. So let's close the query. And we're going to have to open the employees table. Okay, the employee table is open. And filter by form, they're going on the home tab. You see this sort and filter group. Filter by form is, we had to find the managers here, right? They want just the managers. So as long as I click in any field that has the word manager in it, so under the title, where you see manager, it doesn't matter which manager I'm in, just be in any field that says manager. On the home tab in the sort and filter group, click on this selection button, and we can have equals manager, which is what we want. So just click equals manager, and all it displays is nothing but the managers. Now notice how this funnel appears here. That funnel means is that it's filtered. To get all my records back, all I do is click here in the sort and filter group, click the toggle filter, and they all come back. Okay? And I did change these two. Filter by selection, filter by form. I had them backwards. The next one is use the filter by form method to display all the trainees in the employees table. Okay? So this is just another method to filter. And there again, it's just retrieving a certain amount of information. You're not building a query. It's just show me that. Just for that split second, let me see this. Filter by form is on the home tab in the sort and filter group. If you drop down the advanced button, the second option there says filter by form. If you click on it, then what you do is whatever field you're in, you'll have a drop down arrow, and every different a different title that you have in that field will appear here. So we want just the trainees. So click on the word trainee. Then in the sort and filter group, click on the toggle filter button, and you have just the trainees that are in there. Now, there again, once you see that you have a funnel here, that means it's filtered, that you're not seeing all your records. Two ways to get all the records back. I showed you a while ago here, if you click on the toggle button, it's just a toggle. It goes back and forth. Or you can drop down this arrow here and do a select all, okay, and bring them back. So either way. Okay, we're going to exit Access now, close the database file, and submit this via the appropriate link in Blackboard. If you have any problems, just let me know. So I'm going to go up here on the Quick Access toolbar. I'm going to close it. Totally close out of Access so that you close the file. You want to totally get out. You don't want it open. If it asks you to save it, of course, say yes. And submit your work.